know our next guest from the Nomads, but Pamela Sankey is also going to be here talking about the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
Yes.
That was a big popular thing years back in the early 2000s.
Right, 2014.
And it's kind of making a comeback, and May was ALS Awareness Month, and so a lot of things going on. But I want to start with your personal story about your connection with ALS.
Oh, thank you. And as everybody always says, thank you for having me here today, Michael.
Of course, of course.
So my sister was diagnosed 3 years ago with ALS. And of course, there's all these things that happen that you really don't see. You know, they kind of stumble a little bit or something's a little goofy. With her, it was her pinky finger. And it was always like she was having tea or something, you know, and she said, I just can't get it to move down. So long story short, they went in and they did all their testing, and they have clinics in California. She went to the one in, I think in Irvine, and they diagnosed her. And from that point forward, it's been physical therapy, her doing her best dieting and everything just to keep her healthy and to keep her strong.
Now, it affects some people different ways, and I understand it's really hard to diagnose.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's one of those, well, we've eliminated everything else, so maybe this is what it is, kind of a feeling.
Exactly. We found that same thing, and it was getting to be really frustrating because it's like none of it made sense. But then when they finally got the diagnosis and put everything together, it was like now it all combines. And then the more that we would see other folks out online and we would learn about their stories, everything kind of connected because they had the same experiences.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit about what you guys were doing for May and ALS Awareness Month here in the community. We got some slides put up here. You know, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. That's famously known for.
Thank you for not making me say it.
No, I'm not going to try to say it either.
I mean, it's perfect.
But I wanted to talk a little bit about our next slide up here. It's all the research and funding. You know, it's kind of a year-round thing, obviously.
Correct.
And there are reports that 30,000 people have ALS in the U.S., but there's 5,000 people diagnosed annually, and I think that is a scary number when you think about, well, then that must be the attrition rate and the deaths that happen there's not a long lifespan after a diagnosis with ALS, right?
Right. You know, and they say there's anywhere from months to years. And with my sister 3 years ago, we met some folks.
Yeah, when you said 3 years for your sister, I was like, oh wow, that's really great.
And then there's some folks that have had it for like 5 to 7 years. It just everybody's body is different, and it affects them all not the same. So yeah, it's kind of scary that way. But you know, so I found the information for this report online, but things change every day as they're finding more and more people, younger people as well as older too. I think that they said that the average age was like 60 plus, but it's getting to be quite younger too. And the younger people.
Now, the Ice Bucket Challenge started in 2014. I was off on my numbers.
Yes.
But it was a really big thing. I remember my son did it and other people did it. And it was one of those things where you do this Ice Bucket Challenge, you raise awareness, people go and they make a donation, and then they challenge someone else.
Yes, which is so much fun. I think that was the fun with the first one, right? Because everybody got involved. And we had Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and everything had it every place, and everybody wanted to participate. Well, then all of a sudden it kind of, I don't know, for me it kind of fell off, and I don't know if it was because I wasn't seeing it everywhere. But then this year it came up again, and I thought, I have somebody that I know.
Right.
And I want to do this challenge, and I want to do it here in the village because I don't remember us doing anything like this before. So yeah, so that's what got me into that.
Okay, so did you do one? Did you record a video? How can we see it?
Yes, we did. We did. So I pulled one together, and so many of my friends came out and they helped and they participated and willingly dumped the ice water on my head. So we do have a video out on YouTube, so they can go out and look for Ice Bucket Challenge 2025, and our video should show up. Yeah, in fact, now we're looking at the when they got me because I was not expecting it from behind me.
There it is.
So we participated, and then what I did this year is we have our huge, as you know, we have our huge musician group here. We have so many musicians, so many bands. So I actually put the challenge out, and the challenge is either participate in the ice bucket or contribute. Just raise awareness.
And this is your sister on the screen here?
It is, yeah. That's my sister Kelsey and her husband Bob. I was there this past week with them in Florida, and I just thought it was kind of nice to see them together. but then also see them sitting out in the back, just enjoying themselves together in the morning. I'm not saying that they go out and meditate, but they go out and they do their vitamin D absorption, because that's one of the big things: protein, vitamin D. For folks who have ALS. There's a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff,
Yeah.
And there's also the family support system and the people around, because ALS is one of those debilitating things. And the family members, the people who are close, the spouses, things like that, they become these caretakers. What's that been like for your brother-in-law?
Extremely. I can see that it's a lot, but he loves my sister with his whole heart. So, for him, he retired to be with her to go through this. So it's a caring, and it's a lot of work. It's also a lot of money. I was really surprised. So not everything's always covered.
And the medications and things like that.
And little things like physical therapy. So if you do that maybe twice a week, 3 times a week, it's really good for them as far as their bones and everything goes, because all of a sudden they have no more muscle mass. So something as simple as sitting in the chair helps build the core, helps keep the core. Things that we're just sitting here, we can sit up straight and
I don't sit
we
up
know
straight
everything's
as much as I should,
working, right? But it's really a lot of work for them. But they're good together. He's really good to her, and she's a character, because she has wheels and she can travel.
One of the things that I imagine is frustrating for folks with ALS and their family members is that they're working towards a sunrise that they know their families who are stricken with it will never see. That down the line someday there may be a cure, but within the time frame that their diagnosis is, in the time frame that in the life expectancy, they're never going to see that sunrise of a cure for ALS.
Yeah, and boy, that's exactly right. There's all kinds of treatments to help make things a little bit easier, like maybe, again, PT, I go back to that. But research is really needed to find that cure, and research means funding, and funding means fundraising.
Yeah, and not just for the cause, but for the people in their support. And like you said, some people have to quit their jobs. Some people, lose their jobs, and when they're in their prime, they're all of a sudden out of an income, and now we have extra expenses. And
yeah, that's right.
Like that. I do want to mention a friend of mine, Darren Nakakihara, and I made a slide for him. Darren, I just saw him this weekend. We had a little fun dinner party over at their house, and this is his family. His wife Denise and their 3 daughters. That was him before the ALS diagnosis, and this is him on the right side of your screen in the wheelchair. He's a tiller. He's over at Tustin High School. He used to be a teacher there, but he went and did a visit, and you can see him now. He's in the wheelchair these days, and he is he's struggling with it. And so I wanted to say a shout out to Darren and just how much I care for them, and how much support we have for them. And he's lost his voice to it. He's lost a lot of things to it, but he's still honestly, this weekend, he was still laughing. He was enjoying himself, and he has such a positive spirit. And he his motto. He has a hashtag, Go Find Some Joy, and I love that about what he did, and he's made a real thing about it. So you can actually find Darren Nakakihara, if you can spell that name. You can find him online. He has YouTube videos about this experience, things like that. So it's amazing how these people that were going through this can have such a spirit.
And you definitely need to. He looks really familiar, so I wonder if all of my searching online, I've seen him out there, especially for the folks who have gone from health to having a voice to speak with to all of a sudden not. And they have all these great tools out there, and they say, and I think we all need to do this anyway as we get older, right, is record your family stories. For them,
do that.
For ALS folks, they need to record their voice so that they can put it in these wonderful machines they have that can talk for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to put the last screen up. It's the YouTube channel, it's the Facebook, it's the donate information. You challenged a bunch of folks in there as well. You challenged, I think, the Band X and a bunch of other people.
I did.
Let's get some challenges going through the community, and let's make that happen. I want to thank you so much, Pamela, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Bree's going to be back up here in just a minute with the African American Heritage Club and Juneteenth celebration. Stay with us.